Comic-Con 2015. I'm Lorraine Sink, host of The Watcher, joined by the amazing costume designer for Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, Ann Foley. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So you just came out of the costume contest.
I did.
You were a judge, of course. What was it like? How was it?
Oh God, it was great. I love seeing all those cosplayers. They're so passionate about what they do, and it's just a lot of fun.
So who won? That's the big question.
It was Captain Marvel.
Of course it was Captain Marvel, because
Yes,
Captain
best in
Marvel
show.
is
Yes.
the best.
The best.
Speaking of the best, the new season is incredible. Everybody looks amazing, and there are a lot of really big, I feel like, changes for everybody, right?
Yeah, big changes this season.
So we have to talk about Daisy, the new Quake costume.
Yeah.
So what was your idea behind her? You definitely, I feel like, really captured her spirit from the comics, but it's got like a new feel to it, you know?
There's a little bit of a twist. I mean, I always do that with all the costumes. I mean, I start from the comics, which is always going to be the best way, to source the costume. And then, we put our little twist on it for our show, which is always going to have that tactical vibe to it. And I wanted that Quake symbol in her costume and on her gauntlet, because it's there in the comics. So it just made sense to have it on her costume. But this time we put it in the back of her jacket as well, which is one of the coolest things we've gotten to do so far.
I love that. And the gauntlet in particular, what are they made of, and how do they work exactly?
It's a soft, flexible material. It's painted to look metal, and Legacy Effects, who makes Iron Man's suits,
Cool.
made Daisy's gauntlets and her utility belt.
That is so awesome. And now, how much influence did you have on the cutting of the hair? Because I think we all saw the video of Chloe like, here it goes.
Not much. No, that was done before I started, but it's great. I love it. It really completes the whole look.
Yeah.
For Daisy Johnson and for her new look for season 3.
Yeah.
Which is a little edgier, and we're having fun with it.
Yeah, and I think it definitely gives her that like vibe where you feel her sort of leadership in the way that she's really pulled together, especially compared to like the first season when she was just kind of like a kid.
Yeah, well, the whole cast has kind of had a transition from season 1. It was a little bit lighter season 1, a lot more color, and then with the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. we went darker, and then with the events at the end of season 2, everyone kind of had to grow up, and we wanted the costumes this season to reflect that change, especially with Fitz, who's more adult now.
So cool.
Yeah, right? I know.
Yeah, he's so James Bond. In that first episode especially, I think everybody was like, for 007.
Yes, yes.
What was some of your thinking behind his look?
Well, again, I wanted to show what was going on kind of with him emotionally. He was probably the one the most affected by Simmons' disappearance at the end of the season. So when we open up season 3, he's frantically trying to find her.
Right.
And I feel like those events just had him grow up even more. So then what happened at the end of season 1, going into 2, when he and Simmons had survived Ward's attempt at killing them both at the bottom of the ocean.
Sad Fitz.
Seriously, yeah. So this again was just yet another transition for him.
And now I think one of my most favorites, Clark Gregg, director Phil Coulson, looks so different. We talked to him yesterday, and he's like, "I'm so used to being in a suit and tie. I've been in a suit and a tie for years and years." What made you say, "Okay, time to nix the tie"?
It was time for the ties had to go because of the hand, and how I
Also
looked at
true.
it. I was talking to the writers about it at the beginning of the season, and how we looked at it was, when May left at the end of season 2, she was his right hand. She was the one who was helping him tie the ties. Now she's gone. So we kind of moved out of the suits and into, a more badass civilian Coulson look.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking. He lost all his hands. That's so rough. But something else I really love, Bobby has a new look. She's going more towards her science background. I love the scientist Bobby look.
Bobby's in the lab. She is, she survived her ward attack this season, and her ward in Agent 33. So she's, she hasn't gotten back out in the field yet, but something tells me that will change.
Ooh, teasers. I like it. And now there's also a whole nother secret agency going on. What was your idea behind deciding this new team?
Well, we don't really know a lot about them yet.
Right.
And we certainly don't know what's going on with Rosalind, except we
Right.
know that Coulson's met his match. So I think that we're going to just sort of see where that's going. I wanted it to be a little mysterious because, you know, we're still trying to figure that out.
Right.
And I honestly still don't really quite know where they're going to go with that whole group.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Is it hard to do that transition throughout the season, right? Because you start in one place and you want to end in a different place, you know, with big events happening throughout. What is it like making that transition between those gaps?
Sometimes it can be a challenge, but you know, somehow it's always worked out. So, and as we go, these characters' arcs develop, and you just kind of move, you know, along with the arc. So, and it's been fun. I think that's one of the funner challenges of the show.
And how much do the writers and actors affect what you do with your costumes?
Well, a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I've always said I work really closely with Marissa Tancherone, who's one of the creators of the show, and you know, I have since season 1, and so the writers are the ones who create this world, and it's right there on the page, and it's my job to sort of translate that with the costumes and you know, help create the characters with those fabulous clothes.
And when the actors try things on, do you guys kind of work through things?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are their characters, and it's always a collaboration. That's part of costume design, is collaborating with them.
It just sounds like you must have the most fun ever.
We have a great time.
Have you considered jumping in a dub smash? Have you been featured yet?
Well, I was in the last Dub Smash with the whole crew, and that's as close as I got.
Which one was that?
It was the final round 3. Both crews for both shows did the final Dub Smash, and it was actually kind of fun. It was great.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen it yet. I have to go check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, I think that's such a cool project that they're doing.
Oh, it's great, and we've raised so much money for charity, both teams, and I think close to $100,000.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you guys just broke it.
Yeah.
Is what I've heard tell
vote Team S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. So what has been your favorite part of working on the show?
Oh God, I think just getting to help create this universe, and what's so awesome is that it's different every season. It's almost like a completely different show, but so we get to change it, but still stay true to the world that we created. So you recognize everybody, but everybody's look is completely different.
I love that. And now, because you're a costume designer, I think a lot of us have different ideas of what that means. But what is it that you really do sort of logistically on a day-to-day basis? Are you doing the sketches, like, or are you doing the sort of buying? Like, where does that line get drawn?
It just depends on the needs of the script. You know, sometimes if we do have a character like Quake, then it's all about doing the illustrations and doing the research. But even with the other characters that are shopped, it's still about, you know, figuring out who that character is and getting inside their head, working with the writers and even working with the actors themselves, because they always have great ideas, and that's the fun part.
Yeah. And what attracted you to costume design as opposed to maybe like fashion design?
Well, ironically, I majored in fashion design, and then a movie had come to my hometown of Savannah, Georgia, and I thought, wow, this is great. I packed my car with $500 and one phone number and moved out to LA.
And that was it?
That was it. I was sold, yeah.
That's amazing. So if young people want to get into costume designing, what would your advice be?
Well, first of all, have no fear. You know, I think you just gotta, if you want it, go for it. And for me, I feel like it's great to have strong references, whether that's in fashion, whether that's in photography, and find your passion and know what that is, yeah.
I love it. I love it. So we're going to be doing the Women of Marvel panel tomorrow, which I'm super excited about. So if your guys are going to be here at New York Comic Con, definitely go check that out tomorrow. But also, we're going to be doing a Women of Marvel, a little tour, right? You're going to be coming over and talking with us in Santa Monica, is that right?
Yes, I am. Next Thursday night.
Yeah, next Thursday night. So if you guys are on the other
West Coast.
you guys can go and meet Ann there and hear all kinds of cool stuff about the Women of Marvel and ask questions right there.
Absolutely.
And where can people find you online?
afoley24 on Twitter and ann.foley on Instagram.
Awesome. Go check it out. And you post really great S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff. So if you guys want to see behind the scenes and see cool costume stuff, definitely follow her Instagram. It's really great.
is sitting in here